evening. I'm excuse me, Mike Smargiassi, and I'm just going to read a brief statement on behalf of the committee, and then I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm one of 8 members of the ad hoc.
Mike, if I could just ask you to pick that microphone up, it's hard to hear in the back.
Whole stand, you could.
Okay,
Perfect.
that's better. I'm one of 8 members of the ad hoc Communications Advisory Committee, which includes Mayor Vitarera and Committeeman Aronio. On behalf of the general members of the committee, I wish to thank each member of the Township Committee for appointing us to serve the township in this capacity. I can assure you that you have selected a terrific group of professionals who possess the necessary expertise to address the tasks we have been charged with. As you are aware, we have been asked to help the township more efficiently utilize the website and public access channel on Patriot Media, and eventually it will be Verizon as well. The overall goal is to make the township government more accessible to the public. This includes increased access to meetings such as this and the ability to conduct online transactions with the township. We have been meeting on a weekly basis, and thus far our research and discussion has focused on a couple of core areas. These include technology platforms, video streaming, public access television, and online payments. We are focused on identifying the right solutions for the township, which are technologically sound and utilize best practice approaches to content management. In regards to content management, we are looking at automated solutions or processes which ideally reduce administrative tasks or would help minimize any potential impact on township employees or any volunteers of the township. So we're really taking a big picture approach and looking at how all stakeholders would be potentially impacted by any decisions. Finally, we are exploring solutions that are cost effective and will meet the needs of the community for years to come, well past any of our service to the township. Over the last month and a half, we have been looking at our peer communities as benchmarks and exploring various solutions. We have had discussions with county officials from Morris County, peer municipal administrators, third-party vendors, and other members of the community who have additional web or streaming experience. At this time, we don't have a specific list of solutions to present. We are starting to approach the end of our information gathering process, and our next step would be to more closely evaluate each of the solutions and start crafting recommendations. And that's our update for now.
Well, thank you very much. The first thing that I want to say is thank you for all your work. We've had quite a number of meetings, and at each and every meeting, I know Jerry and I are very impressed with your professionalism and the depth of your knowledge, and we appreciate that. And I truly believe we're going to have a very successful year with that committee. And so definitely keep up the good work. I appreciate that. Do you guys have any questions for Mr. Smargiassi?
We don't right now.
Does anybody from the public have any questions for the Communications Advisory Committee? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to move on to the 10 towns.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is Harry Gerken. I'm Executive Director of the 10 Towns Great Swamp Management Committee. I was delighted to see your earlier efforts tonight in planning. The 10 Towns is really an effort in planning that goes back 10 or 12, 13 years when a couple members of the legislature wanted to make the Great Swamp what the Highlands is today. And as the result of that, the 10 Towns was formed for a voluntary group to help preserve and protect the waters of the Great Swamp. I don't know how many, if any, of the governing body's members were around 10 or 12 years ago, but we've done a lot of good things over the last 13 years, or it'll almost be 13 years in June, including having all of the 10 towns adopt model ordinances that help regulate stormwater. Now that the state has imposed stormwater management regulations on every community, that goal has been essentially met. to the credit of the members of the 10 towns, almost all of them were well prepared to meet the new state-imposed stormwater regulations because they had the model ordinances prepared by the 10 towns. I took the liberty of putting on the dais a copy of our last annual report. I'm certainly not going to go through it page by page, but there's a couple of things I wanted to highlight. One of which was an accomplishment we did last year right here in Long Hill Township. We constructed a bioretention basin at St. Joseph's Shrine up in Sterling, up on the hill, and it collects the stormwater from a large portion of the parking lot, 2 or 3 acres, and it runs it through a bioretention basin before it goes down into the swamp. And in fact, just today, we got the consultant's final report on that project. We measured the quality of the water going in before we started and the quality of the water going out. That data will be put up on our website in approximately 30 days. It was a great project, a little over $100,000, which was funded by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the United States Environmental Protection Agency. We are currently working on a major project in the Great Swamp on the Lewanika Brook. Through the efforts of Assemblyman Frelinghuysen, we have obtained $249,000 in federal funding to do a headwater study of the Lewanika Brook. If I could just point out where that is to you. If you are familiar with Route 124 in Morristown, where Friendly's is, right near the hospital, that's the headwaters of the Lewanika Brook. And the water from a lot of those industrial buildings, apartments, et cetera, flows down into a barren ravine. And the headwaters are really filthy. It's the most impaired of the 5 streams that feed the Great Swamp. We're doing a scientific study of that under the auspices of Princeton Hydro. Along with that, we've done and are doing some stream bank restorations along the Lewanika. We're looking at constructing some innovative wetlands near the Woodland Treatment Plant, all with federal funding. I've also included a hoped-for grant from the DEP that would allow us to do some work in the Lewanika Reservation at the Kitchell Pond. There's an application pending. We should hear on this month or next month to do some, let me say, geese mitigation work, to be kind, to keep the geese from going into the pond and putting in lots of fecal coliform. I can tell you that through the efforts of our group and the Great Swamp Watershed Association, we have been sampling the 5 feeder streams to the Great Swamp for about 8 years. All the data is up on the website, and we've been able to sample through periods of drought, through normal periods, and through periods of heavy rain like last year. And that's the only way you're going to get a scientific body of knowledge to know whether or not the work we're doing, even though it's small and piecemeal, is having any impact. We think it is, and I think the water quality results are showing it. And we are deeply appreciative of the commitment and the support we get from Long Hill Township, along with the other 9 towns, to continue this. Hopefully in your soon-to-be debated 2007 budget, there's an appropriation for 10 towns, somewhat small, I think it's about $9,000. We appreciate that support. We understand that through the federal government you get funds because you've got federal property here, and we think your investment in the 10 towns is paying great dividends, not just for you, but for all the people in both Somerset and Morris County whose properties affect the Great Swamp. I know you've got a busy agenda. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Harry, I think it's 6,200, so.
6,200.
What's
Wishful thinking.
6,200?
The appropriation.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you very much for your presentation. You guys have any questions for him?
Thank you, Bren, for your support, and we appreciate everything you've done for us.
Thank you very much
Thank
for coming.
Great work.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Gerken from the public? Thank you.